Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So today, I'm going to do a little bit of it's similar to what I usually do. I'm going to do a breakdown of schedule, but I'm actually going to be hating on this team. Now, I did the Lions, and I forgot what other team I did, but basically, the AFC East. I was basically complimenting all the teams. Like, you know what, this team, their height is this. They're going to be great. This is why they're going to win. But today, I'm going to tell you why the Houston Texans are going to suck this year. I'm not sure how well it's going to be received, but I don't care because I think it's true. Now, it's worth to be noted, before I said this, I said the Seahawks would suck last year. And let me tell you why the 2018 Seahawks are not the same as the 2019 Houston Texans. I made the same comparison about the 2018 Jags and the 2019 Bears. Okay, so why is it not going to be the same? First of all, Houston had an easy schedule last year. And let's actually break through the schedule, because their first 3 games, they came out with losses. And many people were saying, you know what, this team isn't good, this team sucks. So they started off during the first week. They had the New England Patriots. You know, I don't really blame you losing that game. You know, it's the Patriots. They only lost by 7 points. Then they lost to the Tennessee Titans by 3 points. And then they got walloped by the Giants, who apparently sucked. I thought they sucked. And then they barely eked out a win against the Colts, who didn't want to win that game. That's a tie. That should have been a tie, and the Colts went for they just were boosting their morale. They tried to do it. And the next week, they had a similar overtime win against Dallas. And this is when Dallas sucked. Remember that Dallas was like 1-3, and then I was like, oh, the thing sucks. And then they got Amari Cooper, and everything ended up being fine. But then the Houston Texans started to rattle off more wins. They played the Bills, Jaguars, Miami, and Broncos. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember these teams last year, but none of these teams were actually above 500. In fact, all these teams pretty much picked in the top 10 of last year's draft. So these aren't really quality wins, I wouldn't really consider. And then they had their bye week, and then they beat the Redskins, Titans, Browns, and then they lost to the Colts. So, I mean, they weren't world beaters. They had the easiest schedule last year. Then they played the Colts, and they won by 3 points. And then their final 3 games, they had a tough game against the Jets when Darnold's kind of coming on strong at the end of the year. Lost to Philadelphia. Remember, who had Nick Foles. Nick Foles was the quarterback back then. Even though they did well again, I understand, but it's still Nick Foles. And then they beat the Jaguars the last game of the season, when the Jaguars were just trying to tank for a better spot in the draft. So I'm looking at the schedule, and this is not really world-beating to me. And their defense, I think, is a little bit overrated. You could say point to all these stats, but Jadeveon Clowney, he's going to be his holdout, whatever they're doing with the franchise tag. I think that's going to create mixed things in the locker room. J.J. Watt is apparently healthy, but I'm looking at it. I read their offseason report. The guy that they drafted in the second round is hurt. Will Fuller, the second best wide receiver, he's just coming back. They got rid of Demaryius Thomas. He's on the Patriots now. They have DeAndre Hopkins at least. And then if you look at their draft, they drafted Titus Howard and as in the first round of the draft, when Juwan Taylor was still available, when I think Cody Ford was still available, when Dalton Reisner was still available. I don't know why. Maybe they saw something in him. They were trying to do the Patriots way, like, oh, we see something in this guy. He's a character guy. You know what? The Texans are not the Patriots. The only people that can be the Patriots are the Patriots. Going on to Bill O'Brien. He's just been a wannabe Belichick. He wanted to bring in one of the Patriots' head guys. I forget the exact position, but they wanted to bring him in. So why are you trying to be like the Patriots? It hasn't worked for any. He's been the most successful Patriots coach, and he has no playoff wins to show for it. Now, every single year, if you look at it, the Texans, I'm going to put a graphic on the screen because I don't know the exact numbers, but the Texans, every single year, they do well, then they suck. They do well, then they suck. So I think this year they're going to suck. I think Deshaun Watson, you're putting him out there with Lamar, I forget their quarterbacks, they're Lamar Miller. Why he's their running back, and it's not like you have a two-headed monster. It's not like you have one of the Patriots, Sony Michel, LeGarrette Blount, even though they didn't have him last year. But you get the point. Like a 2-3-headed monster, we can interchange guys. All they have is Lamar Miller, and that's it. And everyone's injured. I was reading up an article about all their off-season injuries, and there's a plethora of guys where it's just like, oh, he's hurt. This guy can't play. Like I said, their second-round draft pick this year, cornerback, is hurt. And let's mention their secondary. I mean, their secondary is absolutely awful. Just destroyed. Tyrann Mathieu is not playing there anymore. I think their secondary, people are like, oh, they're going to take a step up. This video is not analytical. It's a bunch of hate and it's a bunch of emotion. I try to put a bunch of analytics into it, but I don't see how the Houston Texans are going to play well, especially in this AFC South, which I think is a little bit overrated as far as every team. But especially with their schedule this year, they had one of the easiest schedules last year and couldn't even beat the Colts at home. The Colts are a good indoor team, I understand, but they got walloped. They were nowhere close to winning that game. And if you think that the Houston Texans are going to make the playoffs this year, they're going to win, well, I think you're wrong. And let's break down their schedule this year. And I got to say, Deshaun Watson is one of my top he's a top 10 quarterback right now. And I just think that the team surrounding him isn't good. I know it sounded harsh. Like, I think Deshaun Watson sucks. No, I think he's better than Baker Mayfield. I think he may be a little bit better than Jared Goff. I just don't think he's surrounded by the right pieces, and that's going to really hurt them this year. So don't think that I hate Deshaun Watson. Okay, let's get on to the rest of the video. They play the first week a team that I don't like, the Saints, this year. And I was listening to Colin Cowherd today. He completely agrees with me. Even though we didn't agree with the Bears last year, I said the Bears would be great, and he said they'd be 5-11, but still, I agree with him on this. The Saints are going to take a step back, but they do play the Saints, in the first week. I think the Saints win at home. This could be like another Buccaneers game where it's just like, oh, what the hell? And then all of a sudden you're just like, what happened to the Saints? But I think that the Saints carry this game. Drew Brees is looking good. He's looking more accurate than ever, but I think he does get injured down the stretch. I'll mention him in a different video. Then they play the Texans at home. The Jaguars at home. Division rivalry. I think they lose that game. Then they lose against the Chargers. I think they beat the Panthers because I'm not sure what to make of the Carolina Panthers. So they start off 2-2. Then they face the Falcons. That's a loss. The Falcons know how to play in domes, so I think that's a loss. Then they play the Chiefs. That's a loss. Then they play the Colts. That's a loss. So that's 2-5. They play the Texans to get 3-5. This is my best case scenario for them, by the way. And then they play the Jaguars away. I think that's. Then they play the Jaguars away. I think that's a loss. Then they have a bye week. Play the Ravens away, and I still think that's a loss. Lamar Jackson, that defense is going to be. I think the Ravens defense is good enough to create disturbances with this the offensive line of the Houston Texans. John Harbaugh is a great coach. Bill O'Brien's a pretty decent coach too, but not on the scale of John Harbaugh. I think this is a coaching battle. John Harbaugh wins that one. So you're looking at it, they only have 3 wins. So they're 3-8, whatever it is. They play the Colts, that's a loss. They play the Patriots, that's a loss. They play the Broncos, that's probably a win. So that's 4-9 or whatever it is. Then the last 2 games, Buccaneers, who cares? And Titans, who cares? So they'll be out of it by week 15. They're going to be a 6-10, 5-11 team. I'm probably going to put the exact results, but I think they're going to do the game-by-game breakdown. But by the end, they're not going to be anywhere in it. They're going to be a top 5 pick this year. And yeah, I'm so confident in this. People are saying, well, one of my friends is like, you know what, I'm looking at this team. They're just going to be really good this year. And I really don't think so. He has them like on the fantasy thing where they're doing really well. And a lot of people said the same thing about the Arizona Diamondbacks this past year. Like, a lot of simulations had the Arizona Diamondbacks doing really well. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Look at the players that they have. But I'm sticking by this. Houston Texans are my under of the year. I placed a bet on it. I placed a $10 bet. I know I didn't bet like $10,000. That'd be stupid because you never know what's going to happen. I just think that the Texans are going to be last place team this year. I think they won the division last year. I think they did. If I'm not wrong, they won the division last year. So they're going to be a first to worst team. It happens every year with one team, and they're my candidate. It's not going to happen to the Patriots. It's not going to happen. Might happen to the Ravens, but with the Bengals, I'm not sure. You go down what other divisions are there? The AFC North. We already got that one. The AFC West. I don't think the Chiefs are going to finish in last place unless Patrick Mahomes really gets a Madden curse. Then I'm looking at the Cowboys. Are they going to be last? Even though it's not like a guarantee a team's going to go first to worst, but I still think it's a legitimate possibility for the Houston Texans. Let me know what you guys think the Houston Texans are looking like. Am I just looking at this wrong? Am I just a hater of this team? I think every single year they do well, they do bad. They do well, they do bad. And before I keep on rambling, I'm going to let you go on with your days. You're welcome. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.